Revenge from beyond. Why is an unknown mystical force taking this man's loved ones one after another? Don't miss out. The psychics will uncover what has been taken away from the dead. Welcome to Psychic Investigations, a channel of exclusively true and astonishing stories from real life. People who call themselves clairvoyants investigate incredible paranormal phenomena and resonant criminal cases. Roman Lyubimov, a resident of a small Ukrainian village, is asking the psychics for help because he doesn't know under what circumstances his best friend and neighbor, Yevhen Zdanovich, died. The man was found dead in his home. He was 50. The ambulance only arrived to confirm his death. The official cause is heart attack. However, Roman suspects his friend was murdered.
Police officers found no signs of violent death, so a criminal investigation was never initiated.
The friends shared the same house, which they bought 6 years ago. Yevhen occupied one half, Roman's family the other. Roman says that on the eve of his friend's death, something incredible happened in his yard. Loud arguments and terrifying screams.
Neighbors saw some people at Yevhen's yard. He was arguing with them.
For 2 years now, Roman has been anxious, trying to figure out whether those people were involved in his friend's death.
We would like to know whether Yevhen really died a natural death, from illness, or if someone helped him.
Yevhen was much older than Roman and was like a father to him. As a teenager, Roman was left a complete orphan. His biological father was imprisoned for hooliganism and died trying to escape justice.
He swallowed an aluminum spoon, and during the surgery to remove it, he died.
Roman's mother died of cancer, and he and his younger sister were placed under the care of their grandmother. But the woman had problems with alcohol and didn't care for the children.
Grandma spent all our guardianship money on alcohol, and we ate very poorly.
The children lacked even basic necessities, such as food and warm clothing. This lasted for 2 years, until Roman entered a culinary school. Yevhen Zdanovich was one of his teachers. Without that fortunate meeting, it's quite possible the orphans wouldn't have survived at all.
I got used to seeing him as a teacher, a mentor. He helped me a lot at school. He arranged an internship for me. The cooks, knowing my story, would give me food to take home, a piece of butter or some meat.
Despite the age difference, Roman and Yevhen always had something to talk about. And after graduation, the former teacher and his student continued their friendship. 6 years ago, they bought a house together and renovated it with their own hands. Roman married. Life seemed to be improving. But then, Yevhen's died so suddenly.
I thought life only crippled me as a kid. Now I'm an adult. But such blows of fate strike even harder and more painfully.
How did Yevhen Zdanovich really die? Who were the people that visited him that day? And were they involved in his death? To find the answers, Roman contacted our psychics. Clairvoyant Zhanna Shulakova and her colleague Gala Polishchuk.
I see a black box with a double bottom. It's likely that everything will be turned upside down.
I'm trying to look into the situation, but I'm overwhelmed by dizziness and nausea. Do you know when this happens to me? When I see the death of a small child.
What is the clairvoyant talking about? What child's death does she see?
Hello, we're so glad you came. Please, come in. This is our home. I'll show you the room where it all happened.
After his neighbor's death, Roman and his wife moved into Yevhen's half of the house while renovating their own.
This is the room where Yevhen was.
May I take your hand? Was he like a father to you?
Yes, he wanted to be my father. We even thought of formalizing it legally. But when we consulted a notary, we learned it was a long and costly process.
He needed to help someone, to give love. I sense great generosity of spirit.
He never had a family of his own. He never married or had children, but he really wanted to.
My hands and feet are going numb. Someone's dying here.
Yevhen Zdanevich was found dead at home on January 22nd at around 8 a.m. His body lay on the sofa in a natural position, as if he had died in his sleep.
He felt suffocated, a sensation of severe heart pain.
I agree with you.
The autopsy diagnosed ischemic heart disease.
There were people in here, though not you or your family.
Yes, he invited his friends. One of them, Mykola, was 30, and the other, Oleksiy, 20. They were here that day.
Oleksiy and Mykola had often visited the deceased before. It's likely they spent the evening before the tragedy together. What exactly happened that fateful night in Yevhen's house remains unknown, though. However, in the morning, it was Oleksiy and Mykola who came to the Lyubimovs to report their neighbor's death, after which they called the ambulance and the police.
I don't see violence or sense any wounds.
I wouldn't call it murder.
I don't see that either.
Nor do I see poisoning.
The people who were here didn't harm him.
This was a man who didn't care for himself and ignored his health issues.
Yevhen had bad health problems. He had epileptic seizures, but he was terrified of doctors and refused to go to the hospital.
Does it mean, then, the man wasn't killed and really died of a heart attack? Suddenly, Zhanna Shulakova felt unwell.
I can't stay here. It's horrible. My goodness. It's just awful. Why is there so much blood?
What is the clairvoyant talking about? Just minutes earlier, she and Hala Polishchuk concluded that Yevhen's death was not violent.
Let's sit down, I don't know. One moment a little kid jumps around me, smiling, laughing, and rejoicing. But at the same time I realize the same kid lies on the floor, covered in blood. Was it your daughter?
Yes, the TV fell on her head.
So horrible.
Right where you were standing.
It's unimaginable. But tragedy struck with Roman and Irina's only daughter, Nastya. The television fell on the 1.5-year-old girl's head, fatally injuring her.
I still can't believe it happened. We had a real family, the very thing I lacked in life. We had a life ahead of us. We worked and strived. This spring, she had already started helping us in the garden, but she never lived to taste strawberries and cherries. She never lived to see them.
But how could such a terrible tragedy happen? Was the girl left unattended?
The girl is running and playing. She's not alone in the house. There are people inside, all busy with their own things. You are cooking.
It was just me and my husband at home. He had just come back from work and lay down to sleep. Nastya started climbing on him as always, pulling his ears and nose, playing with him. Roman said, "I can't sleep here. I'll go to another room." The TV was on.
I hear an artificial electric voice, and then this is it.
When I heard the crash, I turned and saw the TV was gone. I immediately realized it had fallen, but I didn't think it had fallen on Nastya. When I ran closer, the cabinet was lying across her waist, then her body, and then the TV. Then I realized my daughter had been crushed.
Blood in her mouth, the taste of blood. She's crying, lying there. It's terrible. Tears are streaming down her face.
Yes, tears flowed.
Her heart is beating clearly, steadily, continuously, but life is slipping away.
I heard her breathing and called my husband. We drove her ourselves to the hospital. She was still alive.
She fought until the very end, but then simply left.
On May 12th, we brought her to the intensive care unit. On the 13th, she underwent surgery, but on the 16th, at 10:50 in the morning, she died. That day, we were in church, praying.
What a nightmare! A terrible blow for the family. And the question that still torments the parents, how and why did the television fall on the girl?
Everyone keeps their TV on a cabinet, and no one suspects it could fall. Neither did we. When Irina pulled Nastya out from under the TV, the cabinet itself was overturned. How could it have fallen? I'm a grown man. When I pull it, it resists. It can break, but it can't fall. That's very suspicious.
It seems like pure mysticism. If even a grown man couldn't move the cabinet with the TV, what force overturned it onto the child?
An angel. She looks like a kitten.
She always came to me, hugged me, and like a kitten, laid her head down and stroked me with her little hands. She was a golden child.
It's mind-boggling. As a child, Roman lost his parents and became a complete orphan. Then he found a friend, but he died. He married, and it seemed happiness had finally come. Then he had a daughter born, and again, grief struck. Is this coincidence or some mystical pattern?
It may all be related. Can we go to the cemetery where your daughter is buried?
Of course.
We need to take a toy that belonged to her.
She slept with the bunny and carried it everywhere.
Meanwhile, Hala Polishchuk continues working with the house's energy.
Well, hello. A ritual knife meant only for cemetery work. It feels like something bit my leg. Something is wrong with the leg.
At birth, they said something was wrong with her leg and diagnosed her with hip dysplasia. They said to put her in braces. It hurt her.
She was fighting from the moment of birth. She faced dangers.
When Nastya was 2 months old, our house caught fire.
The fire started right next to her crib. She couldn't cry out. Her mattress began to burn.
The wiring in the house was faulty. By mystical coincidence, the wires caught fire next to the crib where the baby slept.
I was in the kitchen. When I looked into the room, it was full of smoke.
More than once, you almost lost her. It was a matter of seconds that she could die.
Yes. Once Nastya's temperature shot up to 40, and she suddenly started coughing and had a runny nose. We spent a week in the hospital. The doctors were astonished that her fever wouldn't go down.
They couldn't even diagnose her. Eventually, they settled on bronchitis.
What a nightmare. Death seemed to stalk the girl. Her mother still doesn't understand the reason. She blames herself for the tragic loss and has lost the meaning of life.
She was a bright soul. You're in pain, but you have another mission. You must extend life, give life, raise another child. You will surely be pregnant again. You will surely have another child. And she will support you. She will always be near you. You can always talk to her.
I see a child in my dreams, but I can't make out the face.
She's showing you that she will return. I think soon the ultrasound will show you this too.
I'd really love that.
It will definitely happen.
But why did the girl die? Can the clairvoyant define the reason?
Roman must feel drained, unable to do anything.
He can't get up in the morning. His arms feel weak.
I had serious back problems.
It feels like you're always walking on the edge, crushed by something. As if something huge in the house is about to collapse on you.
Yes, the ceiling fell.
The ceiling collapsed right here. It was clay plaster, very heavy, 150 to 200 kilograms. It fell almost on Irina. She somehow stepped aside at the last moment and avoided it.
The ceiling nearly fell directly on the young woman's head. She miraculously escaped death.
There must be a cat tied to this place, wandering here like a stray.
Nastya was 9 days old. We heard a heart-wrenching cry. A cat came out of the bushes.
I saw a huge cat sitting and meowing like it was calling someone. I couldn't resist and followed it. He led me about 15 or 20 meters, right to that house.
Perhaps the cat wanted to show something.
But why did the cemetery cat bring Nastya's relatives back to the house?
The house is trying to crush everyone. It's destroying you. It feels like everyone in the house is meant to perish.
I've noticed the same. I feel like I can't breathe in here. I always want to take a deep breath, to catch my breath.
But why does this house bring misfortune?
I see the image of a grieving woman. She shows her daughter. The girl runs, and either a snake or something she stepped on causes her death.
As it turned out, nearly 30 years ago, a girl, the neighbor's daughter, died in the house where the Lyubimov family now lives.
The girl stepped on a nail and died from the infection.
There were other problems with children in this house. A boy fell.
My cousin. He was about 3 or 4 years old. There was an open sewage pit that hadn't been filled in. He was running and fell into it. A neighbor barely pulled him out. If it had been a moment later...
Your house and land need cleansing.
Without consulting each other, the psychics almost simultaneously returned to the house.
Did the girl see an entity? A child would have sensed it.
She always saw some man. She would point to the corner with her finger and say it.
She would point to the window and say, "Man."
I can't get rid of the feeling of someone standing near me or following me in that house.
When darkness falls, I panic. It seems someone is watching me.
The house has black energy. It suffocates everyone inside. And the force is purely male.
An old man. He's here. He says, "You took from me, you destroyed mine. I destroyed yours."
It's something connected to the household buildings. It must be metal. It pulls downward here. It suffocates.
It feels like an object is somewhere right here.
Is it what you're standing on?
Right here. It comes in fragments.
There used to be a little fence in front of the house enclosing the flower bed. It's made of old Soviet iron rods. They make a good building material, so I decided to set them in concrete.
Do you know what it enclosed before?
A neighbor told me. He's 100% sure that this fence was taken from a cemetery and installed here in front of the house.
This is enough to drive someone mad. Everyone knows you must never take anything from a cemetery, let alone bring it home. It brings misfortune.
I didn't know, of course. Later they told me it was from a cemetery, but I couldn't believe it. What sensible person would dig up a cemetery fence and install it by their house?
A woman brought this fence here?
The house belonged to an elderly woman. She brought it from the cemetery.
A reclusive woman lived in this house in the 1980s. The locals considered her insane. They say she was the one who carried the cemetery fence into the yard.
When we bought the house, the fence was already here, used as a flower bed border.
Yes. That's where the entity comes from. The fence could well have stood on the grave of the man whose spirit we feel here.
Were all the deaths in the house caused by the negative energy of the cemetery fence and the spirit of its owner?
Take the fence back to the cemetery where it came from.
And most importantly, whether you knew the man or not, you must ask forgiveness from his soul.
Thank you.
After meeting the psychics, the family's life changed. They decided to start fresh. First of all, they dug up the fence and returned it to the cemetery.
I got rid of that fence immediately. We took it back to the cemetery.
But most importantly, while we were preparing this program, Irina decided to become a mother again.
Irina's pregnancy is the happiest news.
After the psychics came, hope returned that everything would be fine. Most importantly, I stopped being afraid to get pregnant. Now, I'm in my 4th month, 22 weeks, and everything is going well. I had an ultrasound, and everything is perfect.
And perhaps it's mystical, but Irina is expecting her baby in May, the very days when her daughter died.
Honestly, I dreamed that I would give birth on May 16th, and the baby looked very much like Nastya. It's like God is returning our child to us.
A mystical force is taking young people to the other side one by one, and small children are next. Who and how awakened the ruthless supernatural killer? Don't miss one of the most shocking investigations by the psychics. This is Psychic Investigations. Victoria Shandiba, a 21-year-old widow from Ukraine, approached the psychics. She's raising a daughter, Karina, and a son, Nazar, on her own. The children's father, Yevhen, died in a motorcycle crash last year. Now her children are in danger. The mother says a supernatural force has started hunting them. Recently, her 5-year-old daughter almost died in the bathtub.
She was bathing in the tub. My son-in-law's cologne was on the sink and it fell and bounced right into the tub. Glass shattered everywhere.
The grandmother, who was with her granddaughter at that moment, was petrified with horror because she saw a dark silhouette near the girl.
It was stroking her head, wanting to take her with it. I got very, very scared.
Soon, 2-year-old Nazar also found himself on the brink of life and death.
I left the room for literally 2 seconds and realized that Nazar started screaming very loudly.
A microwave almost crushed the boy.
The microwave fell off with the anchors and everything, and it fell to the floor. 4 anchors, and the wall is thick. It's got to be some force. It can't be happening for no reason.
We fear for our grandchildren.
Karina says she's petrified of the dark silhouette that's hunting her and her brother.
She says she sees a shadow walking around, and she's afraid. She's afraid to stay alone.
And little Nazar wakes up screaming every night. The boy is so scared that he can't even describe what he sees near him.
He screams at night, "Mom, I'm scared." Nothing helps, neither holy water nor prayers. Nothing helps. It's horrifying. The psychics are my only hope. We can't deal with it without them.
Gypsy clairvoyant Rubina Tsibulska took on the case, and she's already working with the family's photo.
I see black crosses over the children. It's a death mark. Mirror, show me what it is. I saw a silhouette in the mirror, but I didn't have time to take a closer look at it. A fire started. Water, please. My God.
It can't be. The candle tipped over out of a sudden.
I see a little boy He's fair-haired. He has a birthmark on his hand the size of a coin. He's holding something shiny. There is something like a doll lying in front of him. Wait. It's a needle in his hand. And he seems to be piercing the doll twice.
Is it Nazar?
No.
Rubina heads out for the investigation. Zhanna Shulakova joins her on her way there. She and her colleague Olena Kuriilova happen to be passing through the town where the family lives.
I couldn't stay to help because I had to go to another investigation the next day. I dreamed of my grandmother. She clearly said, "Look for a woman with a green petal on her arm. Hopefully, it will help you."
It's so weird.
I watched Rubina and Zhanna leave, and I saw a silhouette behind them. I decided to help them, at least remotely.
I'm having a strange vision. I'm in the forest. A man in a black cloak with a hood approaches me. He's holding a staff shaped like a cross, and it's burning with fire. The man has no head. His head is in his hands. I ask him, "Who are you?" And he says, "You will find out when you die."
What is this?
I think I heard a bump, but I don't see anyone around.
The clairvoyants stopped some 200 meters from their destination.
Zhanna, look, a cemetery and houses.
What are those children doing there? Children, get out of there!
Isn't there a playground anywhere around here?
But no, it's not normal.
The psychics arrive at Victoria's home. Victoria goes out to greet them with Yevhen's mother and her daughter Karina.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for agreeing to come and help us.
Suddenly, Rubina approaches the crowd without any explanation.
Could you come up? There's death standing behind you. Do you feel it?
Yes. It feels like someone is watching me, but there's nobody around.
You need to be more careful and you need to protect your head. I couldn't think then that the woman was connected to our investigation. I have a feeling that you are afraid to stay in this house.
Yes.
This house belongs to the parents of the deceased Yevhen. He was born and raised here, and after the wedding, he and his wife moved in here. While Rubina Tsibulska goes to work inside, Zhanna Shulakova decides to tune in to Karina to understand what force is trying to kill the girl and her brother.
Did you hear a bang inside?
Like somebody suddenly slammed the door and left.
When we were approaching your house, our van stopped for some reason, and we heard a bump.
But what do these strange noises mean?
Victoria, it's like you don't live here.
Our parents bought us an apartment and we moved there.
2 months ago, Victoria moved from the village to the nearest town, thinking the problem was in the house where she lived with her husband and children. However, the dangerous incidents with her children never ceased.
The problem is not in the house.
I see an empty road and a man standing on it. He's in a gray tracksuit. And he's terribly pale.
Children's dad.
He had a gray tracksuit.
She sees him.
She said she'd seen dreams with her father.
Grandma, am I going to die?
Karina dreams that her dad takes her to his home.
He told me to follow him. I sat up after I woke up.
Dad doesn't wish to harm you. He's simply worried about something. I clearly saw the image of the deceased Yevhen, but behind him, there was something like a shadow. I didn't understand if it was a spirit or an entity, but that thing took Yevhen to the other world, and now it's hunting his children.
We were surprised, but Yevhen's relatives said that he had a premonition of his death.
He said, "It's the last time I'm visiting you." He felt that something was going to happen.
Shortly before his death, the man told his parents that a dark silhouette was following him everywhere. And now, something similar is scaring Yevhen's children.
They are being hunted by someone in black. I asked if it was the same silhouette that followed Zhanna and Rubina. And the answer was yes.
Let's see. It's a man, and he's also dead. And he has a staff. It's almost like in the vision I saw. A man in a black cloak with a hood. Rubina. The shadow. It took the father.
My mirror is showing me crosses. He saw crosses. Were they graves?
Yes, he mentioned that. He had dreams of tombs and crosses.
I had a vision of 3 men's graves. One of them is Yevhen, but I didn't understand who the other 2 men were. And next to the graves stood a fair-haired woman with a mark on her hand.
But who is that woman? How is she connected to Yevhen's death? And whose are the other 2 graves the psychic saw in her vision?
And Yevhen wasn't standing there alone. There was a young man with him.
Oleksiy. He was his younger brother.
We couldn't understand how this poor woman was holding up at all. She buried her 2 sons when they were young, and now her grandchildren were also in mortal danger. It turned out that Oleksiy died 8 years ago while at work, in a warehouse. A pallet of paint buckets fell on him. Oleksiy was buried in a closed coffin. The parents couldn't even say a proper goodbye to their son.
Aunt Helena was so grief-stricken that Yevhen had to pull her away from the coffin.
Both Yevhen and Oleksiy were victims of the same force, and I felt that both brothers saw something otherworldly before their deaths.
The brother's mother confirmed that Oleksiy behaved very strangely the night before his death.
Around 3 in the morning, he went outside. I asked him, "Wait, where are you going?" He said he'd be right back. I went out after him and saw him standing at the corner of the house, just like that, at the corner of the house next to the step. I asked him, "Why are you standing here?" And he said he'd stand there a little more and come back.
Oleksiy died first. It all started with him, so we must seek for the answer in his death.
The psychics ask for Oleksiy's photo to work with.
The child looks very much like the one I saw this morning. I see a little boy, fair-haired, and he has a birthmark the size of a coin. Helena, did Oleksiy have a birthmark?
Yes.
I had a vision this morning before the investigation. I saw Oleksiy as a little boy. In front of him was a doll dressed in white. And he was sticking needles into it. This time, I saw that next to the boy stood a woman of about 50. She gave him the doll and the needle.
It's our neighbor.
We didn't understand what it was about, or how the neighbor was involved in all this. But the woman came out of the crowd and approached the psychics herself.
My name is Katerina.
Their granddaughter died. It was little Katya. Oleksiy sewed a flower.
He sewed a flower where?
To the girl's dress.
It's hard to believe, but why did this woman make little Oleksiy sew a wedding flower to the dress of her dead granddaughter, who was lying in the coffin?
It was a custom in the village.
What custom are you talking about?
He sewed 2 flowers, one to his clothes and the other to the girl's dress.
Wait a minute, did he bring a flower from her?
Yes.
Does it mean Oleksiy was essentially engaged with the dead girl?
Did you do this?
So what? I never wished anyone harm.
Ask the people around.
It turned out that Helena and her husband believe that Katerina is a witch. They also think their sons died because of her, and their only grandchildren are on the brink of death now.
Why did you take my son?
And why did you lie on the ground in the cemetery?
It turns out that more than once, people saw the woman at the cemetery, lying among the graves in the middle of the night. Is there any explanation to such behavior? Could it be really a ritual of some kind? Is she really a witch?
What are you people talking about?
This ritual is connected with magic. You have to roll on the grass among graves when treating sciatica. That woman was apparently familiar with village magic.
But something else interested us, namely, if Katerina was really responsible for the deaths of her neighbor's sons, and if the children of one of the brothers were in danger. Listen, my mirror showed me that this woman indeed has a lot of negativity and a sharp tongue. But I see that she didn't do it intentionally. She only wanted to follow the custom.
It's a custom.
She's not a witch.
There have never been witches in my family.
The fact that Oleksiy and Yevhen died is not related to the flower. Only Oleksiy sowed the flower, but they both died. I think we need to see their graves.
I tuned into the three young men. It turned out that all three had head injuries. And then one of them rose from the grave and spoke to me.
Hello?
Zhanna, I see a man, a young man, and his head is half torn off. It's hanging, wobbling, like after a car crash. He says, "They are all here with me. This is something connected with this story you're investigating."
She sees a man next to Yevhen and Oleksiy. Who is he to them?
Volodymyr, he's gone. He died tragically.
Were they friends with him?
Yes, they're all buried there.
How did he die?
He had an accident in his car. The rescuers had to cut the car to get him out. That's true.
Without his head?
Yes, he was without his head.
We were shocked. 3 best friends died one after another tragically, and all had head injuries. It's unlikely to be a coincidence.
Volodymyr is also a victim of the man in the black cloak.
They were all together here, and they are all together there now, and something connects them all.
What did you do, my dear children? What did you do and why?
Since Volodymyr, the friend of the brothers, contacted Olena Kurilova in her vision, I decided to contact with him too. I need to visit Volodymyr's grave.
All right, let's go.
Look what's happening to the candle. When I tune into Volodymyr, I also get the feeling that he sensed he was going to die.
He came on the 9th day after Oleksiy's death and said, "Aunt Helena, I hope I won't die too."
All the 3 men sensed their deaths, but the question is, who took them to the other side and why?
Wait, Zhanna, I saw this woman in the morning, remember? Death is standing behind you. You need to protect your head.
They were all classmates. Tetiana, come over here.
Were you their classmate? How long had you known one another?
You could say we'd known each other since we were born.
The green petal.
A woman with a green petal on her arm. That's what Olena mentioned.
It's a tattoo.
Three dead men, and the 4th is a woman.
It's the same entity, and it's behind you.
And it's something from your childhood that you all did.
We burned dry grass and accidentally started a fire at a graveyard.
Tetiana and her now deceased friends played at a cemetery as children. They started fires there, which burned crosses and graves.
I was at the old cemetery.
But who is the man in the black cloak who took the boys to the other side and is now hunting their classmate and Yevhen's children? We need to go to that cemetery.
The territory of the dead, you see, it's their home. You disturbed the dead, their spirits.
We thought a spirit was avenging the friends for burning its grave. But the truth turned out to be much scarier. It's Olena again.
Zhanna, it's me.
Hello.
Zhanna, I'm in a real trouble. I broke my arm. I fell from the ladder.
Oh, God.
I figured out who the dead man in the black cloak was. I climbed to the attic to get my book on cemetery magic. As soon as I reached the top of the ladder, it felt like someone knocked it out from under me. Zhanna, do you know who the master of the cemetery is?
Oh my goodness.
Zhanna, it's him. I'm absolutely sure.
Who is that?
The master of the cemetery is an entity that guards the peace of the dead in a cemetery. It is somebody who died a violent death and was first to be buried at a cemetery. After that, they become its master.
So the man Zhanna Shulakova saw in her vision is the master of the cemetery. Did he really die from a head injury?
He holds a cross-shaped staff in his hand, and he has no head. His head is in his hands. I remembered that our van was stopped by some impact this morning.
What's this?
My God, what is this? And it happened right across from the cemetery.
The master of the cemetery. He wanted to point us to the children who were running among the graves, playing and laughing.
Kids, get out of here! Old cemeteries are sites of great power. It is the master of the cemetery, and he will punish anyone. It's not just this family. The entire village will suffer.
What do we do to stop it?
When you make amends with the master of the cemetery, you bring him money, vodka, wine, sweets, apples, honey, bread, and so on. Let's do that.
And I'll take my sand to make a circle, and we'll make the offering in it.
People go home and bring something to offer to the master of the cemetery. The altar has food, drinks, and money. The villagers hope to pacify the dead man and protect the lives of their children and grandchildren.
Thanks to the clairvoyance, we finally learned the true cause of the tragedy that took the lives of my husband's brother, and their friend. Thank you for your work.
A few months after filming the episode, we learned that little Karina and Nazar are no longer afraid of anything. A horrendous triple murder and an aggressive poltergeist. Don't miss a shocking investigation by the psychics. A child's ghost will come to unveil all the mysteries. The psychics embark on an investigation into a series of enigmatic demises within a Ukrainian family. First, we received a letter from 34-year-old Serhiy Dehtiaryov. The man had had a dream of his deceased father, showing him 6 graves, one of which bore a plaque with Serhiy's name. He feared for his life and decided to ask us for help. But when our journalists called Serhiy, his sister Yulia picked up the phone and told them terrible news. Her brother was dead.
He was young. He never had any health problems. He simply fell while walking, and that was it.
One morning, Serhiy felt unwell on his way to work.
He fell, and his partner, who was with him, raised him to his feet. But then he realized something was very wrong and started calling out. People came running and called an ambulance.
The man was dead a few minutes after. His heart stopped abruptly. His family can't understand how it was possible. Several days before his death, Serhiy had undergone a comprehensive medical examination because he'd been terrified by the nightmares about his death. The checkup revealed no indications that could pose a threat to his well-being. And now, Yulia is having the same nightmares that Serhiy had before he died.
I saw the 6 graves. I ran around the cemetery from one grave to another, and I had a panic attack.
In her nightmare, Serhiy was digging another grave next to his, and Yulia saw her own name on the tombstone.
He was standing and digging it, and I said, Serhii, what are you doing? And he said, follow me.
Yulia Detiaryova is 32. She works at a grocery store, and she's raising her 7-year-old daughter, Alexandra, all by herself. The girl's father abandoned them long ago and doesn't care about his daughter. So if something happens to Yulia, there'll be nobody to care for the girl. And this is her greatest fear as a mother.
2 days ago, my daughter asked me, Mom, what if you die? She was sitting and crying.
The psychics are the woman's only hope. Our strongest clairvoyants, Kayal Alekperov and Rubina Tsibulska, agreed to help her.
I saw a room with fair walls, and in it, there were chairs arranged in a circle, and a boy was standing in the middle of the circle. He was pointing at the chairs and saying, "The one who sits down last will die."
My sacred book is speaking some riddles. The angel became the demon. When you find the grave, dig deeper. What could it mean?
Hello.
Hello.
I fear for my and my daughter's lives.
Did your brother live here?
Yes. He was my elder brother.
I feel that your brother's death wasn't an accident.
I felt your father. He felt cold and zuktoen, and the heart stopped, like he froze to death.
My father died walking home from work. He was found in a windbreak. He looked like he had frozen under a tree. I don't feel well.
Even though her father died many years ago, Yulia still finds it hard to speak of it. Her father, Ivan, was only 45. But to this day, Yulia can't understand how it happened. The temperatures in October weren't freezing, and her father was a healthy man in his prime. Did you all live here? Rubina, I have a strong feeling this house is radiating negative energy. Have you ever found something strange on its grounds?
Yes, once.
Wait. Your father's spirit is pointing at this spot on the wall. Was there a door here? Was the thing you found hidden here?
Yes, there used to be a door here, and above the door there was a little wreath. It was made of flowers, but it had threads and needles inside.
I feel a tragedy occurred after it. You lost somebody else.
You lost a child.
And not one, but 2 children. They looked alike. Were they twins?
Yes, I lost them both.
You see your family in your dreams. They're trying to warn you about something, but I can't tell what it is.
Yulia, I'd like to go inside.
Yes.
The clairvoyant tunes into the energy of the house. Meanwhile, Kayal Alekperov continues working outside. My book says you didn't find all the charms. There's a source of powerful negative energy nearby. It's somewhere here. Can you bring me a chair and a knife? It's dangerous to hold it with your bare hands. Look!
My God, what is this? A needle? I see a needle.
There are 3 of them.
What does it mean?
3 needles stand for 3 deaths. This is why your children died. And you could die too. This charm was planted on you to end your family life. But it's directed at you specifically, not your family. Can you please give me your hand? I see 2 women. They hide something in that wall and then run away quickly. They envied you for some reason. We must neutralize this negative energy as soon as possible.
Laughter. Laughter.
While I was carrying out the ritual, I had a feeling that something bad was happening to Rubina. It was like some supernatural force was influencing her. My colleague needed help, but I couldn't interrupt the ritual. Coincidence or not, no sooner had the psychic finished the ritual to neutralize the charm than the clouds parted and the sun shone.
Kayal. I don't feel well.
What is this?
Like God.
What happened? Tell me.
First, I heard a child's laughter in this room. But when I approached the mirror, I heard sorrowful weeping. A child of 2 or 3 was crying bitterly, asking for help.
Yulia is indeed in grave danger. The answer is where the triangle of death is. It's a place where the mother died. Yulia's mother's name was Natalia. After her husband died, she took her children and moved to a town. When Serhiy and Yulia grew up, they returned to the village and settled at their father's house. However, their mother stayed in the town.
Mom lived there during her final years.
We must go there.
But what death triangle does Kayal Alekperov see? And what does it have to do with Yulia and the deaths in her family? By the time the psychics arrive at the house of Yulia's mother, it's grown dark. The news of the psychic's arrival quickly spread among the locals. People who knew and loved Natalia gather around her yard.
The energy is so overwhelming.
3 people were murdered here. I feel 2 of them are your bloodline, unlike the 3rd one.
Yes. I was here. They were all found in this room.
I see a large pool of blood here. It's huge.
This is where the triangle of death my book mentioned was. The triangle was made of your relatives' bodies.
Mom was lying here and the girl was a little further away, while my brother was here.
It's so awful. The people were drowning in blood.
Yes, I saw it all.
The tragic murder caused a stir throughout the nation. Yulia's mother, her younger brother, Oleksandr, who was 17, and his girlfriend, Dasha, were murdered in this house. The tragedy happened in the evening when the family was at home.
Natalia was on the bed. The shot hit her arm, and he murdered the children in the room.
While the murderer was reloading his rifle, the woman crawled up to the children, but unfortunately, she was too late to save them. The maniac shot his shotgun 9 times and escaped. The neighbor found the bodies the next morning and called the police.
When I broke down the door and saw it, my hair crawled on my head. Natalia was lying there and her arm looked like it had been chopped with an axe. And her son was opposite her, and he had this huge hole in his chest. It was a terrifying picture.
I feel your brother holding the girl by the hand.
She seems to be his fiancée.
They were buried as an engaged couple.
They loved each other a lot.
It was the first love for both, and it was very sincere.
They could have been saved.
Before he was shot to death, my brother called an ambulance and said they were wounded.
This is the recording of the wounded boy's call to the hospital. These are Yulia's brother's last words.
Hello, emergency medical service.
We're wounded.
What kind of the wound?
A gun wound. 37 First Vinohradna Street.
Wait a minute.
Please call the police.
Just a moment. Wait, please. The address again? First.
Alexander died a few minutes later. The phone operator who accepted the call is said to have resigned, unable to bear the shock. She simply couldn't go on working there.
I feel you. Two were supposed to be here.
I can't. It's actually true. I was sent on vacation.
Yulia was saved by a lucky coincidence. Back then, she lived in this house with her mother and brother. But just before the tragedy, she was sent on an unscheduled vacation, and so she took her daughter and went to the village.
The man who lived here murdered them.
The man lived with Natalia, and their relationship went sour. The victim told him he was a parasite in her family, and he got mad.
Yulia's mother had lived with her murderer for 8 years. Together, they were building a new house, and when Natalia was diagnosed with breast cancer, the man helped her beat it. On the surface, they gave the impression of a perfect family. Nobody knows what exactly happened to date. There was no alcohol in the murderer's blood. Nobody can understand what made him commit the awful crime.
A demon took possession of him.
I feel the murderer is in prison.
The man hid in his hometown for several days after the murder. When he was arrested, he explained that he'd done it because he'd felt humiliated.
I don't remember who exactly and how many times I shot. When I came to my senses, I saw the 3 bodies.
This is the reenactment of the murder. The cold-blooded murderer is crying.
Now I realize it, but then I didn't. I felt like in a fog. I didn't realize what I was doing. My brain wasn't working.
His guilt was proven and he was sentenced to life in prison.
But it didn't make Yulia feel any better. She lost all of her family, and now she's in danger herself.
Do you hear it? What is this? What is this?
A woman's spirit. This is your mother. She's holding a little boy in her arms, and he's holding a toy.
Kayal. This is the boy who played with me, showing me the chairs and saying, "The last one to sit down will die."
This boy was the angel who turned into the demon that took possession of the man. For some reason, he's avenging your family. But for what?
The cards are showing me how the boy died. He fell from a windowsill. His head cracked. Your mother felt guilty, but she held this secret to herself.
The only person who knew about it was your mother's friend.
Our journalists found the woman. Her name is Taisia. She kept her friend's secret for many years.
Oleksiy, Natalia's second son, died. It was before Yulia was born. He fell from the windowsill and hit his head on the radiator. There was a dislocation in his skull.
Yulia has never heard of this tragedy. Her parents didn't want to traumatize the other children, and so they never told them of the little Oleksiy's death.
We must find out why this little angel, your brother, turned into the demon, and why he's seeking revenge on your family.
What happened?
I heard someone knock on the window pane, and it cracked. But it seems intact.
He's giving us a sign.
Does the child want us to go somewhere? Do you remember the cue from my book? When you find the grave, dig deeper. We must find his grave fast.
I don't even know where it could be.
We must find it, or else the deaths won't stop.
The most interesting thing is that nobody knows where his grave is. Nobody ever visited the boy's grave at all.
The village has two cemeteries. One is old and the other is new. The latter appeared 10 years ago, so the psychics head for the old one.
Rubina, we must split and find the boy's grave. It's not it. Nor is this one.
Checking almost the entire cemetery took the psychics and crew a few hours. However, they failed to find where Yulia's little brother is buried.
I have a feeling of something calling me that way. This is your brother's spirit. Hurry up. That's it. The spirit has hidden.
Is he gone? We have to search.
He's a child, so he's playing with us. But I see him sitting on that grave.
Who is this?
Who is this man?
The boy's spirit says, I was buried here.
When I read the plaque on the tombstone, I couldn't understand anything. What did that adult man have to do with the little boy?
Rubina, do you remember my book told me to dig deeper when we find the grave? Your little brother's spirit is crying, saying it used to be his grave, but you didn't visit him, and you forgot him. And eventually, his grave was unearthed, and this man was buried in it.
If a grave has been neglected for, say, 20 years, and its wooden cross got rotten, but the plot remains, and they can bury someone else on top.
Your little brother's bones were ground with something made of steel, like a spade. And while they were doing it, his soul was suffering terribly. He hurt badly. This is when the angel became the demon.
And his anger hit Yulia's family like a landslide. He started taking revenge after that. And your father was taken away first.
Yes.
The following year.
The child's spirit is telling me he also had his revenge on the man who ground his bones with the spade.
He was hit by a car. I've worked here for 2 years, but it was before I came here. He told me he found the skull and crushed the bones.
What do I do?
You must never forget your brother.
Pray for him. Thus, your brother's soul will find peace, and he'll stop taking revenge. And we should also carry out the ritual.
To block the way and calm down his soul.
But the ritual isn't carried out at a cemetery. Let's go.
While the clairvoyants were searching for Yulia's brother's grave, people gathered in front of the cemetery gate.
Yulia, hold it.
We've prayed for you. Nothing's going to bother your family anymore.
Thank you so much. It was like a load off my shoulders. I couldn't even imagine I had a brother born before me, that he died so tragically, and above all, that he could do harm to my family, taking them away one by one.
An unknown otherworldly force is hunting a little girl. Why is the spirit attacking the 4-year-old Karina? Don't miss out. The psychics will unveil the truth. Hidden in a grave. The family of the 4-year-old Karina contacted the psychics, asking them for help. The girl has been experiencing bizarre visions of a man's ghost that scares her a lot.
Yes, he was very scary. He terrified me. Over there, in my room.
She woke up at night and started crying and shouting. She shouted, "The man! Take him away from here!"
Karina, her parents, and elder sister Lisa live in a small Ukrainian village. All the residents of the house are in fear.
I'm afraid for her.
The girl claims the man has been trying to drag her somewhere.
He was pulling me by my legs.
But the worst thing is that after every such vision, Karina feels bad. The temperature hikes, and she faints.
After Karina saw the ghost last time, her condition was so bad that we called an ambulance.
The ambulance took Karina to the hospital, and on the way there, the girl fainted. The medics did everything they could to save her life.
She was on a drip. It was very hard. Nobody knew why it happened. What was its cause?
The doctors were able to stabilize Karina's condition, and she regained consciousness, but the reason for the problem was never found.
She was discharged from the hospital the same day, as there were no signs of any ailment in her. She was absolutely healthy.
However, the terrible vision has been haunting the girl more and more frequently, and now the other members of the family see the mysterious figure too.
It was black, you know, like a man wearing a hooded cloak. It passed from the door to the window. I was so scared that I ran out of the room and was afraid to come back.
At first I didn't believe it, but then I saw it with my own eyes. It was something dark and vague, like a cloud, and it was moving.
Recently, Lisa has had the worst nightmare in her life. After it, she stuttered for several days.
I was lying in my bed, and the corpses rose from under the floor, trying to pull me down. I tried to escape. I realized it was a dream, but I still told them, please, I don't want to die. Let me go. But they were pulling me down from my bed by my legs.
Oksana doesn't even know which of her daughters is in greater danger. Her elder daughter, the 25-year-old Lisa, had 4 complicated gynecological surgeries. During the last one, she lost her baby and almost died herself.
I lost a lot of blood. The doctors weren't sure they could save me. After I woke up, I asked them how my pregnancy was going, but they told me we had to save you.
But one day, Oksana had an adventure after which she began to fear for her own life as well.
I arrived here before Easter to tidy up my husband's mother's grave, but the ground collapsed, and I fell. In this grave, right here. I don't know what it could be.
Mom felt very bad then. Her heart ached. If something happens to Mom or Karina, I won't take it.
Zhanna Shulakova and Yana Pasinkova, 2 of the most powerful psychics of the project, agreed to help the family. On their way there, the clairvoyants share their initial ideas.
I had a strange dream last night. I was underground in some sort of cave. There I saw a man standing, and there were a skull and bones at his feet. He pointed at the door behind him. I approached the door and pulled the handle, but it was locked. And I heard a lengthy baby cry behind the door. The sound was so creepy. What was it?
Something hit the roof of the van.
I didn't get what it was. I was driving when I heard a thump.
It's so huge. Can you imagine what would be if it fell on someone's head? The spirit of the man. The one standing on the bones. What do you want? Who are you? What are you searching for? Why do you keep coming? He's pointing at you? Oh God, Zhanna! He's gone. He vanished. I feel the investigation is going to be a lot of fun.
An hour later, the psychics arrive at the Laptees' house.
Hello.
Hello.
Come in, please. We called you. We'd really like you to help us. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down.
Children? Children?
Where is the psychic running? What did she feel?
Come over here, baby. Careful, Glass. Calm down, don't worry.
This is horrendous. The dome of the chandelier fell right where the girl was playing only a moment ago. The heavy glass could easily kill the child. The clairvoyant saved her at the last moment.
What happened?
If it had hit her on the head, it could have killed her.
Karina is a late child. She was born when her mother was 44 and her father was 52. Both of them are married for the second time, and they both have other children who have grown up by now.
If you don't mind, I'll walk around a little, because I have a strange feeling. What's with the light? Look at it, the house is alive. Somebody doesn't want us to be inside it.
What is this? Does anybody live in your attic? What is this?
No.
My goodness. Dear God, my pendulum broke. I can't use it anymore. Who are we bothering so much? What was it?
What was that noise? Nobody understands what's going on. It sounded as though something had been shattered, but there are no fragments or anything.
Did you hear it?
And then I again saw the spirit of the man who had appeared in my dream the night before the investigation. But what did he want? Look, over there, right between the two plots, the man is standing on bones.
There he is, standing! Look!
It's incredible, but the girl also sees the man.
He's here for somebody. Do you want her? And
she's about to faint. She's trembling so badly, she's barely standing.
He says, it's all your fault because of the child. The child, you hear it? Wait, the child.
The clairvoyants are afraid for Karina's life.
Are you all right?
Yes, but Karina's trembling.
Then what child did he mean?
I decided to work with the girl because I felt something terrible. Karina had seen death. You are riding. It's a road. It's a road. 1, 2, 3. They're sitting. Death. A murder.
Yes, there was a man.
Did you kill somebody on the road?
No, not us.
2 years ago, Oksana, her husband, and younger daughter had a bad car crash. Oksana's husband was driving. The family was coming back from Oksana's parents, who live 60 kilometers away from their house. The car came to a stop at a traffic light while at a junction.
The light was green. A Tavria passed by us. And from the beltway, a Maz was approaching.
Wait, I see a dead body lying over the child.
The Maz hit the Tavria, and it was thrown up in the air and landed on the roof of our car. Yes, the car with the dead body fell on top of our car. The driver of the Tavria died right away.
The child is a witness of a murder.
It's hard to even imagine what these people went through. Oksana's husband rushed to the Tavria to help, but he was too late. Oksana and her daughter were taken to the hospital. The woman was diagnosed with a cervical spine dislocation. Luckily, her husband and daughter weren't injured. Is the spirit of the man who died in the accident haunting the family, trying to take them to the other world?
Something didn't match here, as they weren't guilty of his death. They were mere witnesses to the tragedy. Besides, the man who killed him was punished. What is this noise?
Something fell.
What is going on around this house all the time? And who burned the fire? There was nobody near. However, it's not the fire that draws Zhanna Shulakova's attention.
Look, in front of the fire. Do you see? And here is the second one. One is higher, the other is lower.
These are somebody's children. They were killed.
Which of your relatives did it?
My stepfather hit 2 people with a tractor, a boy of 14 and a man of 28.
He didn't hit them. They collided with him from behind.
They hit the mower.
An awful tragedy happened in the neighboring village. Oksana's stepfather was driving his tractor home after haymaking. A mower was attached to the right side of the tractor. 2 young men from the village were riding a scooter, coming back home after the disco.
And the mower, it's long and has such spikes, like scythes. So the guys hit them and fell off the scooter, right on the mower.
Both died instantly.
But it's not Grandpa's fault.
He was tried and punished.
Nonetheless, something doesn't match.
The psychics are at a loss. They go back into the house to decide what to do next.
Zhanna, look, I have an idea. To understand what kind of spirit it is, who he is, and what he wants, we need to conduct a ritual and talk to him. He refused to communicate with me, but I think he would be more willing to speak if we used of the family members he's been attacking.
Take me. I'm ready for everything.
It was a deadlock because speaking to a spirit that is trying to destroy you is incredibly dangerous.
No, you're not doing it. I'll never sacrifice Mom.
The psychics decided to carry out the ritual, which would help Lisa establish a connection with the spirit in the yard. But before that, they suggested that the adults take the little Karina to the neighbors to avoid putting her in danger.
My heart's leaping out of my chest.
Give me your hands. We're going to put you in a trance. Shall we start? Close your eyes. Relax. You're going to see pictures. It's going to be something like a dream or simply flashes. Okay, I feel him.
Zhanna radiated warmth, but from behind her, I felt a chill emanate. I was very scared. Who are you?
Here we go.
Why are you always near? Do you want to take me? Did we do anything wrong to you?
This is something beyond the real. Lisa has made contact with the spirit that is after her family, and she's talking to him.
This is the man on whose grave you stood.
I had a dream. I saw a cemetery where one grave was neglected. It was black. There was a woman, and the woman said, "This is your brother." I asked her, "How come he's my brother?" Because in the photo, there was an adult mustached man. But she told me, "Think."
You stood on the grave with your feet. He was calling you. He wanted you to help him. You forgot him. You left him.
We visited my baby brother.
It turns out Oksana had another child, a brother of Lisa and Karina.
After the dream, we immediately went to the cemetery and started searching, but we didn't find anything.
Did you search for the grave?
Mom said, "It's over here," but I was drawn in the opposite direction. I tried. I said, "Baby brother, give me a hint. Maybe I'll trip over something, or something moves somewhere."
I only want to ask you, why hadn't you visited the grave before? Why is he forgotten? And for how long has he been forgotten?
He's been gone for 29 years.
29 years ago, Oksana had her first baby, a boy named Ruslan. When he was 2 months old, he suddenly got ill. He was taken to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with acute bronchitis. A few days later, the boy died in the intensive care. The autopsy revealed that he died from the multiple birth defects.
It's hard to express with words. It's heartbreaking. It's the biggest tragedy of my life. The only thing that was left as a memory from him was his blanket.
Oksana simply couldn't visit his grave.
Something was preventing me from going there. Every time I approached it, I felt unwell and fainted and was taken away. I couldn't look at it and couldn't approach it, but I never forgot him.
I don't see them as clearly now. but these are the eyes. I saw them in my dreams.
The mustached man appeared in my dream and said, "It's not Boy's grave."
But who is the man whose spirit Lisa sees now?
Who is he? Who is he?
Who are you? Please tell us. Don't be silent. Say something.
We must break the link. The spirit started devouring Lisa's energy. We can't afford it. Lisa, open your eyes.
Lisa seems to have fully woken up, but the clairvoyants are yet to figure out who the man to whose spirit she spoke is.
Who is that adult man, Zhanna?
Blood. It's not your blood. It's upside down. The king is a stranger.
The mustached man was trying to tell me to go to find my brother.
Is it possible that the man whose spirit has been attacking the family is somehow connected with the cemetery where Lisa's brother is buried? But how?
Does he want you to bring him something? He is missing something where he is lying.
Is he strangling you? Is he? Inhale and exhale.
What is going on? Is Lisa in danger even after she awoke from the trance?
Careful, careful.
Lisa fainted. How awful.
Go, I command you to leave. The breathing is even. The heart's beating normally.
Lisa, can you get up?
Mm-hmm.
I felt like my throat got tight. I couldn't breathe in or out. I couldn't say a word or shout out.
Open your eyes.
Are you all right? Breathe, inhale deeply.
How's your heart?
We should go to where he keeps coming from. We need to go to the cemetery.
The psychics, Oksana and Lisa, go to the cemetery in the neighboring town. They need to find the little Ruslan's grave. The clairvoyants try to feel the place where the baby boy was buried 29 years ago. It takes them a while.
There's the grave. Let's go there.
Here's the place of the pain. It makes me want to run away from it.
Is it true? Is Ruslan really buried here?
A boy, your bloodline.
Son. So this is the place. Son, forgive me. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Son.
It's not your fault as a mother for what happened. You were with him until the end.
I always speak about him. I always remember him.
The man is also in the grave.
He was buried on top. It's a double grave now. I finally realized the meaning of the dream with the man on the bones. The bones were the boys. It was his spirit that we saw all day.
Why is the spirit trying to harm Oksana's family? All in all, she didn't even know there was somebody else in her son's grave.
There was no ransom. Zhanna, there was no ransom. When somebody is buried in someone else's grave, even after many years, the original holder of the grave must be paid a ransom. Because the person who's been buried in the grave first thinks the grave is theirs. It means the boy was forcing the man out of the grave, and so the man's spirit couldn't find peace. He tormented the family, blaming them for not visiting the grave or taking care of it. With time, it leveled with the ground, and then he was buried in it. This is what the spirit meant when he said they were guilty because of the child.
Coins. We need to pay the ransom. You go to the church and order a remembrance prayer. After that, the man will stop haunting you. The boy's spirit will settle down, and he will stop tormenting the man.
You must always remember your late relatives. The memory is the only thing that protects us, giving peace to us and those who passed.
We are really grateful.
May I hug you?
Thank you.
Oksana Lapti and Lisa came to visit us a month after the investigation to share the news that things had returned to normal in their family.
It all changed for the better. It's finally quiet in our house. We don't hear any noises.
Thank you so much.
The mother's grief over losing her baby led her to neglect her son's grave. But who would have thought it would have such disastrous consequences?